Pretty good win for us. I thought we did first of all, I give Detroit a lot of credit. They came out and challenged us, especially defensively. They were very physical. They were able to hit some shots. We lost sight of Corey Allen early, and he hit a lot of shots on us. But for the most part, our guys played really good defense the first half. At one point, we had counted 9 straight defensive stops from our bench, but we just couldn't get anything going offensively. So we felt good about being up 4, at the half, and then start the second half again. We continued to get in passing lanes, get deflections, which led to steals, which led to transition buckets. I thought Ty Toney gave us a lift to start the half. I thought starting Tim Bond the second half gave us another offensive threat. And once we started scoring the ball, our defense got better throughout the second half, and we pretty much played a really, really good second half. So Detroit was a huge challenge for us. This was a big win for us for many reasons. Obviously, I'm from the area, so it's always good to come back home and play in front of your family and friends. But for us, we were, wanted to make a point that we could go into somebody else's gym and win a basketball game on the road. So this is our first true road win. So put a feather in our cap, and it shows our team that we can win on the road and to win a MAC title, and which we're focusing on. That's what you have to do.
First half, you think it? I mean, I think it was just a little matter of some ill-advised threes, some quick shots.
Yeah, I thought, Ray took a couple long three-pointers. He's a very good shooter, and I encourage my guys when you're open, shoot the ball. But at that point, midway through the second half, we were already in the bonus. We couldn't get the ball inside to James. They didn't do a great job of playing help defense, so if we could beat the first man, we were able to get to the rim and maybe score a layup. So I thought we settled for a few too many, but our defense continued to keep us in the game. But we attacked the second half, which helped us.
You guys are off to, I mean, obviously you've had some impressive games so far, and you're off to a good start. Just an overall picture. I mean, football teams going to bowl games, as everyone, especially after the offseason when there was so much bad publicity. You guys, picked to win the West. I mean, is it kind of a little bit of a statement for Eastern Michigan right now?
Yeah, for us, it's a lot of excitement. Heather Like, our athletic director, has done an unbelievable job since she's, been with us and making sure she's building and supporting every program. Chris Creighton has done an unbelievable job in building a football program. He came in and went in 2 games in 1 game, and to have a turnaround where he's going to a bowl in year 3 is unbelievable. So it's a lot of excitement around football, but it's a lot of excitement around Eastern Michigan athletics, which is great. For our guys, we lost some tough games early, going to Pitt, taking them to double overtime, and, losing to SMU, and then losing to IUPUI on the back of a, 5-game, 9-day trip was tough for us. But we came back home. We have our legs up under us. We won 2. We had 2 really good practices before coming into here, and we were able to deliver tonight. So I'm impressed with where we are and how we're playing. We're just looking forward in these next 11 days that we have off to continue to get better and make sure our academics are in order.
You a little jealous that they're going to the Bahamas?
You know what? Fortunately for us, we took a foreign trip this year, and it was actually to Atlanta. So we spent 6 days in the Bahamas in late August. So I can kind of get those guys our itinerary so they can have a good time. Yeah, some dinner recommendations, some slides to go on. So our whole team, and that kind of helped us get prepared for this year, taking that foreign trip. And even when we were there, Chris Hoppy, who's on the administrative side, we talked about, man, what if our football team can get on a roll and we come back here? And for us to talk about that in August, and then they actually are going to the Bahamas to play in a bowl game is, kind of surreal and unbelievable. So happy for those guys and happy for, our athletic department right now.
On the other side, what did you make of Corey? I mean, he's an Ypsilanti kid and, freshman, and clearly some athleticism there.
Yeah, pretty good player, confident player, can really shoot the ball. He's a guy we recruited some, but he ended up, choosing Detroit, I believe, because of the playing opportunity early, starting as a freshman with the 3 guards we have, Ray Lee, Ty Toney, and Willie Mangum. It would have been hard to crack that lineup. And I think we have, any one of those guys. I think we have 6 starters because Willie is pretty good. So, the understanding of him wanting to play early. But he's a very good basketball player. He can shoot it from outside. He can drive it. I thought we lost sight of him early, but when we honed in on him, we made it tough for him.
Coach, speak to the rivalry between Detroit and Eastern Michigan.
get a win, but speak to the rivalry and the future of it, and if there's anything set in stone for you guys for the future.
Not right now, Chad. They were, again, on a 9-game win streak, dating back to last year. We, cracked that streak at home. Eastern had lost 28 straight games in here. I'm sorry, they were on a 28, was it 28 years since we had won in this building? So to get that monkey off our back, the 9-game win streak last year against the 9-game losing streak against them last year, and to crack this 28-year streak has been great. Me personally, I think, all local teams should play each and every year. If we can play, and I'm speaking of Eastern Michigan, can play every Michigan school, Division I school, it will be great. Obviously we play Michigan State, and Coach Izzo will give us a game at any time. We're banned from Chrysler Arena, okay? We've tried to consistently get these games against the University of Detroit and Oakland. I'm very thankful for Robert Viles after 4 years stepping in and making this home and home happen last season. I spoke with him briefly after the game, and he, think it's great if we can continue this going. Hopefully Bakari will feel the same way. And the same thing with Oakland as well. I think us, UAD, and Oakland, because of proximity, should play every single year. I wish we could, sign a 10-year deal where we didn't have to worry about it. I'm willing to play UAD every year. I'm willing to play them home and home in the same year, and the same thing with Oakland, if we can get those guys on the schedule. But it seems to me that consistently guys or teams or schools don't want to play us. It's very, very difficult for us to get these games, so I'm thankful when we do. But hopefully moving forward, we can play UAD and we can play Oakland. It's time for both of them to come back to Eastern Michigan. We played UAD at our place last year. Now we're back here this year. We play Oakland at Oakland last year. So if we can start both those series and, have them come back to us, it would be great. I would love it.
Where do you see, this is your first look up close at Bakari Alexander as a head coach here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you kind of envision from the Detroit Mercy program kind of in the years to come with him as a head coach?
Well, what I've seen from Bakari's, teams, and I mentioned this to him before the game, since they played Wayne State, they've continued to get better each and every game. I mean, obviously we're an experienced team. We're kind of like a well-oiled machine, so it's going to be tough to beat us at this point with our experience. But just looking at film and looking at them in particular, they've continued to get better. They've continued to fight. They're not the same team they were when they lost to Wayne State. They're not the same team they were when they lost to Ferris State. So when you are in the process of continuing to build a program and you're laying your foundation, it's very, very important that your guys are playing with a lot of energy and a lot of effort. And that's what I saw from them to start the game, and that's what I've continued to see from that team as I've watched the last 3 or 4 games. They're a few free throws away from winning against Manhattan in this building. So they'll be better. And I told Bakari the advice I gave him as a head coach, it was just one word: patience. You have to, understand and trust the process. I went through it my first year, and we had our struggles, but then we continued to fight. We got in the MAC play, and we ended up winning the MAC West title, which was the first in school's history. And that was my first year in the program. But what I did was continue to preach and teach and get guys to believe. And they have a long season ahead of them. If they continue to play hard, continue to improve, and Coach Alexander Bakari continues to, teach and preach, defensive effort, rebounding, and playing together, they'll have a pretty good season. They'll bounce back because they're much better than what their record is showing right now.
How hard is patience? Especially for the kids.
Well,
Keeping the kids patient in the big picture.
yeah, well, it's really tough for the coach because you want to win now. You were hired, obviously to graduate kids, but more importantly for everybody, you got to win games. That's what you're judged on. So when you're going through the process, it's really tough when you're not winning. So you just have to kind of open up your mind and, have a vision and continue to tell yourself it will not always be like this. Or you have to continue to believe in yourself, challenge yourself to keep challenging your guys each and every day, because you can be 1-6 and, that's a long way away from winning in their eyes, right? But for me, we were in that same situation, and I continued to sell and continue to get our guys to believe in what we were doing and what we were teaching. And ultimately, we started to have a little success, and things started to click and go together, and we got in the MAC play, and before you knew it, we were out in front. We were, finished in the top 4 when we were picked 12th. So being picked 12th my first year, being picked 11th in year 2, but finishing 4 and 6 were huge stepping stones for Eastern Michigan basketball at that time. And now to see the maturation from being picked 12 out of 12, now we're picked number 1 on our side, maybe 2 or 3 overall, shows the growth of our program. But it's tough to have patience, but you got to have it. As I look back, I wanted too much. I remember playing Duke, Syracuse, Kentucky, and I remember playing for those guys really thinking we were about to compete with them, and I was mad afterwards. But in hindsight, we really didn't have a chance. But because I continued to be upset and mad and preach and teach no matter who we were playing, eventually our guys started to believe maybe we're a little better than what, we are, what we believe we are, because they hadn't had any success. So in saying that, Detroit will be fine. They're in good hands. Bakari's, been in some very successful mid-major programs. He understands how to recruit at this level. I know he can coach because he's worked for some really good coaches, and he's played for a great coach in Perry Watson, who did great things here with this program. So he's prepared for the job, and they hired the right guy. He just has to have patience, but it'll turn, and he'll get these guys where they need to be.